right, guys, so today I have in one of the new GM2100s, the Metal Casioak from G-Shock. With the popularity of the resin models, the GA2100s, it was almost a given that these would eventually come out. Now, I've done quite a few videos on the GA2100s, including turning one into a metal version of the watch with one of the steel mod kits. So we're going to keep this fairly short today. I also have in one of the OG Casioaks, the red version here, and I was surprised there's quite a few differences between the two. So we'll start this off with a quick look at the metal, then follow that up with a side-by-side comparison between the two. Now, before we get to the watch, big thanks to my local authorized dealer, Gem Bijou, for lending it in. If you're shopping watches, check them out at gembijou.com. Link will be in the description below. Now, he had in two models of the four currently available, this in the green. This dial, though, looked so cool. I had to go for this one. The best way to describe it, the color that is it is a blood red. I mean, it is seriously almost the exact same tone of red. Sorry, but there's just no better way to describe it. Of all the colors, the silver version is probably my favorite, but this one looks awesome. The dial has some vertical brushwork, which is a great little detail you don't get on the resin models, and I'll get that one in frame here soon to show you the differences, but I like the texture of the brushed dial. Over at the 9, we have the day display, and then down at the bottom right is the digital display, which looks cool and everything, but is my biggest negative with the watch. If you plan to use the functions of the watch, and a lot probably won't, but if you do, I find it on the small side and pretty hard to read. The module's the same as the GA2100, so we get the world time, stopwatch, countdown timer, and alarm. When you're using these functions, you'll find that a lot of times the hands are in the way of the display. Not the case right at the moment, but to shift them out of the way if they are, you press the bottom left button and the top right button at the same time, and you can see how they moved there. This can come in really handy, but I'm sure most of you guys know this stuff about the watch. There's all kinds of videos out there on the Casioak, so let's get the other watch in here and see how they stack up against each other. Now, there's some pretty obvious similarities here with the overall design, the dial layout, and the case design in general, but there's surprisingly quite a few differences. An expected difference is the weight. The steel GM2100 is still lightweight, but it is about 20 grams heavier, coming in at 72 grams versus the 51 grams of the GA2100. The size is also slightly different. I'm getting a case width of 44.5 millimeters on the steel and 45.2 on the resin. The lug to lug, which I'm measuring from the seams where the case hits the strap, is 48.8 on the steel and 48.3 on the resin. The thickness is almost the same. I measure it at 11.9 on the new model and 11.5 on the older. So pretty minor differences, and holding them side by side and wearing them on wrist, it's really not noticeable. One thing that is noticeable is the buttons. They're a lot nicer to use on the GM2100. Instead of wrapping the entire way around the buttons like the bezel does on the resin models, they are notched on the steel, and it just seems to give you a little bit more room for your fingers and much easier to push the buttons. Now, we've also got some differences on the dial. Most of it's cosmetic with the metallic finishes versus the more plasticky finishes, but they've also changed up the handset. The new models have a larger area for lume, which I find helps with legibility, especially with finding the hands at a quick glance. You can see on the older model, it's a much slimmer and shorter area with lume there. I'm sure I missed some of the differences, but one last difference is the strap. The new models have a flat strap with a fine waffle pattern and a metal buckle. I like that they went for the metal buckle, but they really should have matched it to the case color, I think. Other than the buckle, the quality versus the GA2100 is similar, but I think it suits the look of the watch. So here it is on my 7.25 inch wrist, and overall, both are great options. This isn't about which is better, just more of a comparison, and I think at each watch's price point, they're both excellent options. For me, I think I'll go for the silver, but the red is pretty darn cool though. Cost on these is 220 USD for the PVD coated models, 200 for the non-PVD silver version. It's a jump from the $130 cost of the resin, but I think that's fair for what you're getting. One other thing before I let you go, keep an eye out for a giveaway here on the channel in the next few days. We're approaching the 10K subscriber milestone, and I have a giveaway I'm planning. One of the prizes is going to be a brand new GA2100, not the red version I have here, but another model, and at least one other watch too. So if you're not subscribed, it would be awesome if you could, so you don't miss out on that. So that's it, guys. Any questions on the watches, reach out anytime, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.